my impetus is really creating your own calendar. You guys are startup companies. You guys have an opportunity to do something different from a calendar perspective that really doesn't exist. The reason you're not working at a regular company is because you've got an opportunity to create something new. Here's our new calendar, 2013. You guys have an opportunity to create something that doesn't exist that most companies don't really like to look at when they attract talent. And part of that you can do is by changing the paradigm. I think you guys all know as startups, you don't work 40-hour work weeks. You're more like 50 to 80 hours, 7 days a week. And the traditional calendar doesn't really apply to you guys because you got a chance to say, I want to set my own schedule. I want to do something different. Public schools are moving away from their agrarian calendar, which you may or may not be aware of, but the whole reason that you start school in September in the first place is because that's when everybody went out and harvested, all the corn that you guys needed to eat during the regular week. Midweek holidays. How many people really, really loved that Christmas and New Year's fell during the middle of the week? Nobody. So the questions that I used to get asked all the time when I was working in my startups is, do we have the day after Thanksgiving off? What about Christmas? Does it a holiday if it falls on a Saturday? Do I get that Monday off? How does that work? All those are really myopic. What you really want to think about is, how can I be productive for the employees that work with me, and how can I embrace what they want to do to make them more helpful, to make you more helpful. Many of you may not know, last big calendar paradigm shift, 1582. Moved from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, which you might not know, but over a span of about 1,300 years, we lost 12 days in there. So Gregory IX decided, hey, I need to make some new changes, and so he caught up the world. This is where we are now. You've got an opportunity to really change how your calendar works on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis. And part of that is letting employees create their own schedules. They know when they're most productive. And if you've really created a new paradigm, a new challenge for people to do things differently, then come up with ideas. You guys all have modern technology. I see people on iPhones and on every other device here. You can work wherever you want and still produce. So why do you have to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning, or 8 o'clock in the morning, or 5 o'clock in the afternoon? What works best for your team? What works best for your clients? How can you be most productive? If you guys are really, really doing agile, when you complete sprints, give your team time off to recharge. Agile's huge. Give your team a chance to recharge. Create different schedules. Productivity. Hey, this week we're going to work from 12 to 8. You'd be amazed at how much production you get out of people who show up at work at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and work until 8 o'clock at night. The dynamics have changed totally. My big thing is here, which is the calendar itself. Founders Day. Celebrate Founders Day. You guys have come up with a new idea. You should embrace the day that you were founded. Take the last week of August off. Everybody in Europe does it. It's a great way to take a huge break and count that as a way to move into a new quarter. I went through like the 50 to 80 hours. You're looking at 2,800, 4,000 hours. If you let people take off all the time they want, you're still going to get 2,400, 3,000 hours out of them. You're going to make them productive. And too often, you base it on what you know and not what you don't. Ask your employees, what do they want? What are they looking for that's really going to move them and shape them to be productive? And that's really where you have a chance to break new ground. Sorry. Last thing is, again, this has really to do with, do you have sabbaticals for your company? Are you really trying to figure out ways to move them beyond where their regular experience of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and what have you? The impetus for this all was based on, if you can see, United States, 0. We have zero paid mandated federal holidays in this country. You're not actually required to pay people for time off. And 25% of companies actually do not provide any time off for their employees. We're the only Western industrialized country that does that. And that's really the impetus behind this is get busy. Do something different, and that's the whole reason you guys are here in the first place. Thank you.